Hi, beautiful friends. It's LeahMarie here with a medium message for you. This time, a pick a card. So, you'll be channeling three different energy flows through and giving messages to those of you in the collective that are meant to receive them. So, when I open up this energy, it is open to loved ones of people that are drawn to the channel and there for you to select card one, two, or three, whatever feels most calling to your heart in order for you to connect with the energy of whatever loved one or loved ones want to communicate and what it is that they want to share with you at this time. So, the deck I'm going to be using today is Wisdom of the Oracle, and I will have the information for this deck in the description box below, along with how you can get in touch with me if you want a personal reading with your loved ones, if you're interested in any of my classes, online shop, all the other fun things that I have available. Please check that out. And I do want to thank all of you who have been supporting the medium messages with your likes, shares, subscribes, with your contributions. I have been really blown away actually by all of your love and support. So really seriously want to give you guys a big energetic hug and thank you so much for everything you've been sharing and all the support that you're bringing to the channel. It has been really quite amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that, everyone. And if you are totally new here, thank you so much for clicking on the channel. And I really hope that there is a beautiful message from your loved ones in here that can help you on your path at this time. So our cards popped out pretty quickly, so your loved ones are ready to speak. And I am going to do all these in the upright. So go ahead and check in for card one, two, or three. The timestamps will be below with everything else as I mentioned. And I'm going to start over here with one. So card one is Go the Distance. And I always work with these medium messages. So there's numbers on the cards that I use for these. So this particular one is number 47. So 47, and I'm also seeing it reversed. So 74 could be significant to you or the loved one that's wanting to communicate. Going the distance. So I'll bring it in just a moment. But the first thing that's resonating, there's a flag that's like a checkered flag. So I'm getting the sense of racing and car racing, or someone who was into cars, or someone who was into racing. So I'm getting, for some of you it might be car racing or races, in that realm. And then I'm also seeing it as racing. So whether it was the person ran track, cross country, cycled, they did other sorts of races or sports, that could resonate for some of you. But with the cheetah, I'm getting the sense fast moving type of races. So my first resonance was more running, marathons, triathlons, that kind of stuff. So that may or may not resonate as a cue for you guys as to who's coming through. I am getting the sense that this can be either gender, but it is coming through a little bit more masculine today, and just in this sense of protective energy. So whether it was a masculine or feminine individual, the energy of protection is with you. And so this is actually coming through. So this cheetah is sort of in midair, going towards the finish line, and they are above the actual desert, above the sand. And so this loved one, it feels like they're coming through to really help encourage you, to cheer you on towards an end goal that you've been working on with something. I just had a light notification pop up over here. So for some of you, that is going to resonate, that you've been working on a project or doing something, and this loved one is showing up to help encourage you to I see these sort of people with their little flags, and they're just cheering someone on right before the end of a finish line, you're about to complete complete a race, or complete a cycle, or complete a project, something something's coming to a place of completion, but it's not quite crossed the finish line yet. So whatever way that resonates for you, this loved one is there cheering you on. So maybe this is something they did for you. Maybe you were the person that has run races or done this kind of stuff, and they were always there when they were in physical form, cheering you on and supporting you and encouraging you to keep going even when things got really hard. And all of a sudden I'm just getting this well of emotion in my heart chakra right now of this like tears pouring down someone's face and this overwhelming sense of, I just have to breathe with this one because this one's really intense. It is this overwhelming feeling of how proud they are. So it's just like seeing you come into this completion, seeing you accomplish this, and being able to really help you. So whether this was pride that they felt in you when they were alive, or whether this is them coming through, and I'm getting this strong sense for some of you because this is really emotional, that there is like this deep sense of being proud of you for everything that you've done, everything that you've broken through. And for some of you, you've already accomplished this. You've already gone the distance, and they're coming through with this message to let you know how proud they are of you because you stayed the course, because you kept going, you pushed through even when it was hard. You showed up and you won the race for yourself. Whether you won first prize or whether you won, a medal or didn't, they're saying that's not what matters. That's not why they're proud. It's because you went the distance. Like you did what you needed to do to get through it or to succeed. And so this might not have anything to do with athletics for some of you. It might have been like an obstacle you were overcoming in your life that you've recently or about to break through, and they're just there cheering you on, helping support you, protecting you with this energy and guiding you over this space. So the desert is a very desolate in many ways space. I was in Egypt in 2018, and it was crazy to just see the spans of the desert and how open it was. So for some of you, I'm just hearing now, it could be a connection with Egypt, connection with desert. So maybe even in the southern portion of the United States, and my left ear is ringing. So for some of you, that could be a sign that is relevant. It's really just this energy of being able to have what it takes to cross the desert. Insert whatever analogy the desert was for you, whatever the challenge was, whatever the obstacle was. It's you're flying through. So it's like you've lifted off the ground and you're going through, and it is just this really beautiful message of a sense of feeling proud, cheering you on, sending you love, support, protection, and just really being there with you at this stage. And I'm hearing too, for some of you, if you are in a space where you did just make a major accomplishment and it's something that you're celebrating, please do consciously call their energy in. They want their presence to be consciously there with you. So whether you have something there as a representation of them, whether you just call upon their energy to be at that celebration with you, for in whatever way that would work for you, they're saying they really want you to consciously call them so you can feel their presence with you, because they will give you your own personal sense of what it is they're all feeling for you, even more than what is coming through in this reading. They're going to give you your own tangible physical experience of how they actually feel about everything you've done, so that you can really like embrace it but embody it as well and know it in your heart space to be true for you. So thank you so much, and congratulations on whatever it is that you've accomplished. I just want to grin from ear to ear with like this just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. So whatever it is feels really beautiful and powerful. So take care, and thank you so much for choosing card 1. So I'm going to shift over to card 2 and connect with the energy here, which feels like a very different energy. Card 1 was very energized and very big. And as I come to card 2, I now understand. So this energy is orphaned, and we are getting the number 5. So the numbers on the cards can be significant indicators of who it is that's wanting to communicate with you. And I will show you this card, and it's interesting. So I'm getting the sense, it's almost like a sense of, like, the orphaned feels more like a sense of loneliness. And I don't know if it'll resonate on the camera, but the woman is in a white dress on top of this, and she actually has like a little carrot nose on, almost as though it's meant to be this representation of a melting snowman or woman. And so I feel like that could be significant to those of you who picked this card. Maybe winter was an important season, or building, making snow people, or, just experiencing things related to that. So that could be relevant for you guys. And with this, it is this, it's more of an enclosed energy, more of almost feeling like orphaned, but I'm hearing the word abandoned. So it was almost as though there's been a sense of abandonment in your life, or a sense of loneliness, and it could be coming from the space that this person used to be in. So even with this sort of figure where it's like, when we see snowmen and women, like they're like melting, right? But there's still like the essence of it there, but it's in this weird shape and form that was not the original intention. And so it's almost as though you are going through this transformation of sort of decomposing from what was there before, but you haven't turned fully into your next state either. So I'm getting this sense. So it's like, snow is really water that's just frozen. And when it gets warm, the snow melts and it becomes water again. So there's a cycle that it goes through. And so it feels like this loved one is coming through to help support you in your current cycle of transformation, to help you really see how, in this, like, they're on this sort of like stand, but I'm seeing it as it's almost like a bird's nest at the top. So this could have to do with like literally rebuilding your life or rebuilding your nest. And I talk a lot about like my nest is my home, or I sometimes will call my bed my nest. Like, okay, I'm going to go to the nest for the night. I don't know why I use the term. I just enjoy it. And so for some of you, I am getting the energy of birds and nests that could be relevant to the person that's coming through. And I'm also seeing it as this energy of your home and what it is that your home is going through transformationally. So maybe you're needing to move to a new home. Maybe you've just moved to a new home, or maybe you're working on a transition of, in this card, it's like a lot of these gray colors, which is more like things dying away, which needs to happen so new things can be born. And so for some of you, this could be a signal, especially I'm feeling for a handful of you, this was the loss of a significant other. And so it's almost that space of, they're gone and everything that was there when they were kind of there with you is dying away, but it's because your life is transforming. So it's like life is going to change and evolve, and the way it was isn't the way that it is, but everything sort of needs to come to the closure of that cycle so that the sun can dawn again, so that, we could cycle. Let's say this is more of a winter time. Well, what happens in the spring in areas where there are seasons is new life blossoms, new beautiful gifts come into space. Now, I feel like for those of you who chose this card, many of you, you're not in that new growth space necessarily yet. But this loved one wants you to know that they're here with you as you're closing out this cycle, and as you're beginning to perhaps prepare to come into your new cycle of growth, to build your new life, your new home, and to really be able to flourish after very big change in your life. And so this might be confirmation for some of you. It feels like some of you may have lost your job as well, and that this is like a transition related to that. So it's sort of like feeling orphaned from everything you knew. And so just because you are in this space right now, they want you to know this is temporary. You're not going to continue to be in this, heavier, more desolate, more perhaps lonely or alone type of place. It's temporary. Like they just are like, just know it's temporary. And they're wanting me to look at one other thing here. So I am seeing, actually, now that I'm looking closer, there is a face in the rock, and I'm not sure if you will be able to see that. It's about as close as I can get it. But there is a figure, and what I would refer to in the shamanic world would be like stone people. So it's sort of this message to me that the energy of stones, rocks, crystals, mountain energy, Those might be links to this person, or those might be tools or resources to help you. So it might be that it's time for you to go to the mountains and connect with that really strong mountain energy, stability, foundation, grounding, so that you can build new, whatever that means for you. It could also be that it's good to work with stones or crystals, or maybe that's something you collected, or maybe that's something they collected. Again, resonance to help you know that this person is with you, because I feel for this case, it's really like they just want you to know they're with you. So even if you feel orphaned, even if you feel like you no longer have them, and I said, like, for some of you it is significant others, some of you it is a parent that's gone, and so not having parents is sort of that meaning of being an orphan if we don't have parents. And so they want you to know too, if it is a parent in your case, that they are very much with you. My throat chakra is tightening up here, so it's really like they want to speak to you, but they also want you to speak to them. So if you've been feeling left out, abandoned, orphaned, alone, start speaking to them in your own way, internally or externally, and that will allow their energy and their presence to actually become more known and more physical and tangible for you, so that you can start moving out of the winter cycle and into your new spring, into your new life and new flourishing, abundant energy. So thank you so much. Sending you so much love and support on your journey and love, and really bringing that positive energy to help raise your spirits and anything else that you might need at this time. So take care. So I'm going to shift over to card 3 here, which is time to go. And I will get more into that, and I'll show you the card in a minute. So I always mention the numbers on the cards that I use. This is 50. Okay, they're definitely wanting me to do it both directions. So I wanted to say 54, but the number is 45. So 54 is significant, and I'm hearing for some of you that was a year either of birth or passing, or a significant year in someone's life. And 45, I'm feeling more age, but it doesn't have to just be that. And in this card's case, they're even giving me 9 as the breakdown as well. So 45, 54, or 9 could be significant to this individual. And time to go. So as I bring this in, you'll be able to see there's this figure here walking on a pathway, and if you look closely, way in the distance, there's a faint little door. And so it's interesting because for some of you, they're just saying it was just time for me to go. And so this feels more like this energy of it's not that they wanted to, it's just like, no, it's just time, just very matter of fact. And not only was it time for them to go, but it's also time for you to move towards that new door, towards a new journey. And so I am getting the message that this pathway, so it's kind of wooden, but I was just shown it as a pier, like, or a dock on a lake. And we can't really tell. There is no, I mean, it's like, is that water? Is it air? Is it land? Is it fog? Who knows? So the landscape is pretty open, but for some of you, this feels like a pier or a dock going out into the water. And so I'm getting the sense with the time to go that this is a nudge to take a journey. Whether this is a journey traveling, whether this is a journey inside to explore something new. I also am being called to, there's very light wings on that figure. So it's like time for you to take flight. So it's time to go, it's time to move, it's time to break through. And so, okay, with the wings, they're saying they're fairy wings. And for some of us, the fairy wings and fairies are relevant to you and your person. So they're just getting really like, woo, you gotta say this. So fairies are significant for some of you. And this energy of, stepping into your new adventure, like moving forward, they're going with you. They are with you. They are with you everywhere you go. So even if you do start to embark on a new journey, new adventure, they're going to be right there beside you in this really lighthearted, playful manner. So that energy of the fairies, it's like you might have little orbs follow you around, or butterflies or moths, bumblebees. I'm also hearing ants. You might find little ants along your path as significant. Also getting this sense of there is a cardinal outside now that is just like squawking up a storm. So for some of you, the cardinal is relevant because it's just like perched in the tree and it's going to town right now. So, and this often happens when I do these readings. So cardinals are very specific. And for some of you, it might just be birds in general, but it's what I'm getting this sense of. It's like they're projecting this message out, like it is time to go. You are ready. You are ready to take that adventure. You're ready to go on that trip you've always dreamed of. Like you literally just need to take action. And so if there are any fears that have been coming up, this loved one is here to help you break through those. So do consciously call out to them, help them show you the path, help them illuminate that pier, that dock. And to me, that could be a sign of wherever it is you're meant to go involves water. So whether you're taking a boat on the trip or as part of the trip, or whether where you're going has a lot of water and you're going to invest more time near the water, there's some significance. And it must be part of our collective here because water comes through really, really frequently in these medium messages. So the collective tapping, and there's got to be a lot of water resonance from your loved ones. So it's really just, it feels like this sense of peace. I'm also hearing you'll find the clarity that you need when you're near the water. So if you've been looking for some clarity related to any aspect of your life, you're going to be able to find that in the stillness beside the water. And so I'm also feeling this sense that some of you, like if you're into poetry, there might be a certain poet or something that resonates with you or that they shared with you that they want you to go and look at again, or maybe you've been looking at that and this is just confirmation. So I'm just sharing whatever that is. They're not giving me specifics. I just was like feeling the sense of poetry. And so maybe it is even this, for some of you, this message of life is poetry, especially beside the water. And even the way I'm speaking right now is very poetic. So perhaps this loved one was a poet, or they wrote you poems, or you wrote them poems, but there is this very just like romantic, poetic energy, whether they were, a significant other or a parent, that is like there was this energy of poetry in motion, poetry that moved through them, poetry in the relationship, that just this like ebb and flow, this energy dance. And so it's like as you embark, as you finally take the time to go into the next phase, into this doorway, while we can't see what is on the other side of the doorway, it feels like it will be a living form of poetry. So it's almost this sense of it will be so beautiful in nature, this adventure, this next stage for you, that you will just, it will be like life is being articulated in a way that feels that beautiful, like perfectly written and eloquent and beautiful with just the right words and just the right cadence and just the right balance for you. So however that resonates for you, this just, I'm feeling this sense of support for you to move forward with something and to allow yourself to venture into the unknown, because again, we don't know what's behind that door, but they are calling you to action, to go towards it, to move through it, supporting you, guiding you, loving you, and working to support every step, like every step along that pathway for you to have success and expansion. So thank you so much for choosing card 3. I am sending you so much love and light from your loved ones, and so appreciate you tapping in and supporting the channel. So have a fantastic week.